All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Darrel Long channel. We are live. We are live. We are live. Shout out to everybody that is here supporting us. All right. Shout out to everybody that is here supporting us. I appreciate everybody who is joining us. And we're going to try to have a good stream tonight. All right. We're going to try to have a good stream tonight. To me, this one is going to be very, very, very controversial. And I do have the entire 3-hour live stream from the Austin Metcalf interview. I do have the entire 3-hour live stream, the entire full video. We're going to break it down here together. And I believe the reason why she didn't want this on YouTube is because it does have a lot of controversial moments, right? Where you have a grieving father who is basically saying a bunch of racist things, right? And I do have my notes ready, right? I do have my notes ready, but let me get my YouTube script ready. Hold on. Oh, you like that? Why I said 2K on pause in the background is hilarious. Yeah, bro. Gotta stay busy, man. Let me see. Create YouTube script for these notes. Yeah, bro. You know I be playing 2K. I play the Pistons. See, I'm traded everybody. I got Damian Lillard. I got Wemby. I got SGA. I put everybody on the Pistons on one team. You know what it is, bro. But I want to break down this interview from Sarah Fields. And I might tag her in the video. I might not. I found out that her best friend is actually a black woman who I'm very disappointed in, because she was going along with this shit saying that, well, the father was grieving, so maybe he had a right to talk about racist shit. To me, that's never acceptable. Oh, my little bucket hat, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's never acceptable, bro, for you to be out here having conversations about somebody child,
it was
calling them the watermelon felon. Now, the remark happens at 50 minutes. So we got a little bit of ways to go. Let's go ahead and get directly into the interview.
exasperating, and it was angering. Not long after my reporting, we connected and we became friends. And I just want to say that what he's been through and what his entire family has been through has been absolutely horrific. And I'm so grateful that now he has an opportunity to come onto this space and share his experience and talk about his loss, raw and unfiltered. So I'm actually going to ask you, Jeff, if you would like, we would like to start at the beginning. And you're going to you can say whatever you want, starting with the first day and the details of exactly what happened when you first got that phone call.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right. So we get into the father and his mentality day one after his son died, right? So well, not even day one, like just the second his son died, he got the call. What happened? Let's hear it.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank everyone for joining tonight. I'm free.
Are we echoing? Why are we echoing? Oh, I mean, okay, go ahead, sorry.
All right, there we go. So, starting from the beginning, April 2nd, I received a phone call from Coach Jackson and said, Jeff, all I know is Austin has been stabbed. I asked him where. He said Kirkendall Stadium. I immediately hung up the phone, and I made it there in about 4.5 minutes. When I arrived, it was pretty chaotic. A lot of police cars, a lot of people. I ran through probably 10 different officers who tried to stop me. When I did reach the track, the scene that I saw was my son, Austin, and they had a C machine on it, which actually it automatically pumps on your chest. But when I saw him, I knew he was gone. I prayed for a miracle. And as soon as that happened, I asked the ambulance, the EMTs, what hospital they were taking him to. And once they instructed me where they were going, I directed my attention to finding Hunter.
So, for one, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the kind of person that's just cold hearted. I say rest in peace to you. Rest in peace to your son. I had no problem saying that. Rest in peace to your son. It was an awful situation. What happened to your son was awful. And truth be told, I don't feel like people should be making fun of your son's death. But at the same time, I just put out a video with you yourself, Mr. Metcalf, saying a whole bunch of racist things from this interview. So I don't even got to go into the clips because we're going to play that part when we get to that part. But make no mistake about it. You, sir, destroyed your son's legacy. You destroyed your son's legacy the moment you decided that you wanted to be on some racist shit. The moment you decided you wanted to be on some racist shit, you destroyed his legacy, bro. There's no coming back from it now, in my opinion. Let's go.
They said he was taken to the locker room in the field house. So I proceeded to go run over there. And I found Hunter, who was uncontrollably out of control, bawling, emotional wreck. So I have to try to gather him and maintain myself. And all we do is we pray. And I tell him, let's go. I'm taking you to the hospital. You're riding with me. And we get in the car and we're praying. Because I am praying for a miracle at this point, because I know my son was gone. But we get to the hospital. We get in the room. I have to make the phone call to his mom when we were driving to inform her to meet us at the hospital. By this time, the word's getting out to certain family members. Certain people are showing up at the hospital. Takes probably, I'd say, a good 10 minutes before the doctors come in. I knew what was fixing to be said. I knew by the look on their face that Austin had passed away. And they confirmed that.
And again, man, rest in peace. And, you know, it's not a good thing that a child dies. But your son, even though he was a child legally, he thought he was a man. We know enough about your son to know that he thought he was a bully. And I urge any white people who are listening to this, don't go into this whole thing with a racial hatred any longer, because you're going to spew that. You're going to put that into your children. Your children are going to go outside and try to mess with somebody else's child, like a Carmelo Anthony, and then there might be consequences, like we saw with Austin Metcalf. Whether or not there's justice for those consequences, Austin Metcalf still can never come back. He can never throw another football. He can never talk to schools about playing football in college. He can never do that. He's going to be in a situation where he's fucked forever. He's going to be in a situation where he's fucked forever. It's and I mean, I'm sorry to say that, bro, but it's just the facts.
Very second, Hunter spun out of control. It took 5 officers to get him under control. We had to.
So again, it took 5 officers to get your son under control. That tells me that your sons were very strong. Imagine if they had jumped on Carmelo. But 5 adult officers who had trained to apprehend fugitives couldn't get your son under control. Tells me that your sons were a danger to Carmelo. And that's why Carmelo took the action that he did.
To admit him and get him sedated. And then at that point, they wouldn't allow us to see our son because now it is a crime scene. So they have to process the body. So for over 2 hours, we can't even see Austin. And by this time, a huge crowd of students, parents, friends is overflowing this hospital. It is so touching and so moving, and we're all so distraught over the news of Austin's passing. That moment, I became totally numb and went into what I call survival function mode. I had to find and buy burial plots, funeral homes, arrangements, so many things that had to be done.
I mean, with
And
all
I
due
needed to stay
respect,
focused.
with all due respect, we all do that for the people that we love. My father passed away in 2024, and I had to do all the same things. My brother passed away just a few months later, and we had to do the same exact thing. The same exact thing. It's the tragedy that anybody who is living with, you know what I'm saying, losing a family member, that is what you're going to have to deal with. That's just the facts. Now, we're sorry that the predicament that you have to deal with it is, you know what I'm saying, your son being deceased. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have to. Nobody should have to bury their child. Nobody. There shouldn't be a single person in the world, in my opinion, that have to bury their children. But guess what? Black people been burying our children for years. For years, due to white violence. For years, bro. Let's keep going, though.
That very first night, our church held an impromptu vigil. Our church holds 1,500 people at Hope Fellowship. It was overflowing. There was over 1,700 people that showed up that night. Very touching. An outpouring from the...
And y'all see what he just said? Over 1,700 people showed up for his son at the church, in the hospital. That is the kind of support that we need to see coming for Black Americans. Like, Carmelo should have had 1,700 Black people at the courthouse every single day. Every single day. The same way that Austin Metcalf had those people showing up every single day on his behalf. Jake Lane was there saying that if Carmelo was acquitted, that they was going to try to string him up from a fucking tree. You understand me? So at some point, these people, they are showing that they are extremely racist, not just a little bit, extremely racist. And they're going to get justice by any means necessary. So, I mean, if this is my son, would I have to be out on the front line by myself, me and my wife, putting her in danger, putting our whole entire family bloodline in danger just so we can get justice? And this is when people like when Anton will say the Black culture is trash. That's what he should be alluding to, not Meg Thee Stallion, not Sexy Red. He should be alluding to the fact that men, Black men, are not doing whatever they need to defend Black young lives, men, young boys, or young girls. It's actually fucking disgusting.
The community, friends, family, even people who didn't know us showed up in support. And I spoke that night about who Austin was. He was a leader, on and off the field. He touched people's hearts in ways others couldn't.
Now, we 21 minutes in. Like I told y'all, the racist stuff started at 51 minutes. I have all the timestamps. I watched the video earlier. So I want you guys to hear this because it's not being posted on YouTube, in my opinion, for a reason. I'm praying that you guys support the channel, because if we don't get support, more than likely, they're definitely going to try to flag this video. They're definitely going to try to flag this video, undoubtedly.
He was loved by so many.
Hold on. Somebody said, "You look handsome." Thank you. I appreciate you. Cares about communities of Houston. I appreciate you, my lady. Let's get back to the video.
And so many loved him. I told a story that night. And And I told the story when I was diagnosed with cancer in my cancer group. They asked us, define success. And went around the room, and most people, some of the common stuff, oh, I'd like a big house and car and, a lake property or whatever. But when it came my turn, I had a different view. I said, my success will be judged by how many people show up at my funeral. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you go to a funeral, the people that attend are someone, hopefully, you have touched their life in a positive way.
Bro, let's be real. And I'm not, this going to come across as harsh, but let's be real. 1,700 people would have never showed up for Austin's funeral if this wasn't a public fucking spectacle. Like, let's be real, bro. How many other white people have died in Frisco, Texas in the last 20 years where 1,700 people showed up at the fucking funeral? Let me help you out, right? Because I did some research on you, Jeff. Your parents are dead, right? Your parents grew up in Frisco, Texas, where you grew up at. Did 2,500 people, 1,700 people fucking pop out at your parents' funeral? No, because it was a private event for family. Y'all turned y'all son fucking death into a circus, into a fucking circus, into a public spectacle. And on top of that, you came out later on because the gag order was lifted. You came out later on spewing racist rhetoric, which is even worse, sir.
Because one thing about people, they don't remember how big your house was, what kind of car you drove, how big your bank account was, where you got your nails done. None of that matters. What matters is people always remember how you make them feel. They'll never forget how you make them feel. Because there's no U-Haul behind a Hershey. You ain't taking nothing with you. You come in with nothing, you go out with nothing. Except for what you leave behind. And what you leave behind is your legacy.
And you just ruined that legacy with this interview. And this is why people keep asking, why did the judge have a gag order? Could y'all imagine if Jeff Metcalf had said these different things while the case was actually still going? Could you imagine that? I think that if Jeff Metcalf had came out and said that Carmelo was a watermelon felon during the trial, that I think Carmelo would have walked away free. I'm dead ass serious. I think he would have walked away scot-free because it would have been impossible to argue that race had nothing to do with this. Impossible to say that race had nothing to do with this at all. It'd have been impossible, bro. Because now we got proof that the father has a racist ideology. So I would think that with that, the prosecution, not the state, the defense could argue Carmelo was approached by these boys because their father has raised them on racist ideology. Racist ideology. That's what I really believe would have happened. And I get it. Your son died. Maybe that's a reason why you feel like you should be crashing out, but that's not good enough. It's not good enough. Let's keep going. Young lady from Houston says that dude crashed out. I think a lot of things being hidden about the video evidence. We haven't even saw the video yet. And you know what's crazy, right? Houston. You know what's crazy about the whole situation with the video? When Diddy beat up Cassie, they put that video out immediately. That was a crime too. That was physical assault. They put that video out immediately. They wanted the people to know that Diddy was guilty. They wanted the people to shame Diddy. They wanted everybody to see that he was physically abusive. All of that shit. Many of us haven't even saw the video of what happened with Carmelo Anthony because they've been keeping the shit a secret, bro. They don't want nobody to really know that Carmelo was innocent. Now we get reports that Carmelo really didn't kill him and he actually died at the fucking hospital. That's what they saying. Now the autopsy report that's being leaked online, that shit may not be real. So I don't want to show y'all no fake autopsy report of a fucking child that got murdered. But if I get the real one, then I will put that out there. Let me keep going. Shout out to everybody watching. You're right, on a lot of platforms too. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all go tap into the Darrel Long Show. Y'all know we back out here. Let's get shit popping. The full 3-hour interview. Let's go. We're gonna get into the racist remarks. We about 20 minutes away from the racist remarks. Let's go.
Austin's legacy will live forever. I myself will make sure of it. Not only myself, but many others. His mother, his brother, family members, communities. We've set up a scholarship in his name at Memorial High School. For every year, there's going to be the Austin Metcalf Scholarship. We want to give back. We want to help people. That's who Austin was. Austin.
I don't think the scholarship is to give back or to help people, right? I think the scholarship is to memorialize your son and to make him seem like he wasn't the demon that he was. Austin Metcalf was a bully. Austin Metcalf was a bully. He was somebody that, unlike Carmelo Anthony, who grew up with his father in his life, Austin Metcalf didn't have that. Austin Metcalf had to deal with his mother being dicked down by another man who didn't even do right by her. He was in and out of the life. I mean, listen, I'm not even gonna judge the stepfather because I be doing shit too. Everybody is a flawed individual, but nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, told Austin Metcalf to not bully young black boys. I grew up in Detroit. I be in Chicago a lot. I be in Milwaukee a lot. I think that if he was bullying a black child, it might have been the same thing. I think they might have hurt him because they got to go back home to their families. They got to worry about their mommy and daddy losing. Look, bro, it's us or them. That's how it always has been. And I'm sorry that he lost his life, but we're here now.
Helped people up. He inspired. He promoted. He encouraged younger classmen, his teammates. He was always there, always believing in them. There were so many kids who came up and spoke that night about how Austin touched people's hearts. And that's what you leave is your legacy, your footprints on hearts. That's how people will be remembered. And for anyone who knew Austin, who loved Austin, that memory will be carried on in their hearts forever. I know I'll say his name from the highest mountaintops till Dad died. That was probably the very worst day of my life. When I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 10, 11 years ago, I thought I was going to die. They told me I had a 50-50 chance. I told God I can't die because I have 2 boys and neither father. I would go through cancer a million times again if I could spend 5 minutes with Austin.
And this is why, as fathers, we have to prioritize being in our children's lives. It's very serious, because if we're not focused on being in our children's lives, then anything can happen. And when we lose them, we don't have a chance to hug them again. This is why I'm telling you guys to move with love, right? Positivity creates abundance. That's the slogan on this channel moving forward. Positivity creates abundance. And if you're not focused on doing positive things, having a positive life, living in a positive spirit, then you're going to invite negativity into your life. And I think that based on the things that I saw Jeff Metcalf say, like I said, I do have a pre-recorded video that's going to be released in the morning. And I mean what I say. At the end of the day, bro, you was on some racist shit in this interview. I'm gonna go through the whole thing. I have to cut out. I have to give some commentary. That way I don't get copyright strike by Sarah Fields. But if you don't have no love in your life and you spreading hate, then you inviting hate. You understand that? Because we not hateful. We don't hate white people. And we may look hateful while we combat and hate, but it's not that we hate y'all. White people want to feel safe in their communities. Black people, we want to feel safe in our communities. It's just the same crime elements that y'all are afraid of are the same crime elements that we are afraid of. There's no reason to hate us. There's no reason to hate y'all. All that other shit is trash. Let's keep going.
When you're faced with your own immortality, it reprioritizes your life. All of a sudden, things that were important don't matter. You really start to really find out what's important in life. It's the people who love you, the people you love, and those who support you when you're down. You should never, ever put someone down or look down upon someone unless you're giving your hand to help them up. And that's who Austin was. Austin was always the helping hand, the big brother, the protector, the leader. He led by example. And he was humble.
I don't think so. I don't think that he led by example, nor do I think he was humble. I genuinely believe that your son was a bully, bro. Yes, he had a good GPA. That's easy to do in today's school where they had Chat GPT and all these other things to help them actually succeed. He should have been a 4.0 student, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't like him being a 4.0 student don't speak to his character no more than Carmelo being a 3.7 student speak to his character, right? We look for other things that speaks to people's character. We can't just look at how good they are at their job. You understand what I'm saying? Because somebody can be good at their profession and they can be proficient at their profession, but still lack character, still not understand how to be a real person, a real nigga. They just don't understand that. I think that you are one of those people. You don't understand that. You don't understand that, bro. Oh, this wide angle view, it's not as sharp. Yeah, I like that better. There we go. Let's get back into the video, man.
He didn't even want to join National Honor Society, even though he had a 4.0, even though he was extremely smart.
Your power company doesn't want you to know this. If you fix this one mistake happening in your home, you could cut your electricity.
I told him it looks good on your college
Listen, it's no YouTube Premium on Rumble. It is what it is.
scholarship application. All he thought about was football. But when he got between those white lines, even I wouldn't want to go up against him. He turned into controlled rage and chaos. He was a disruptor on defense. He led that team by example. Friday Night Lights. Long story short, Friday Night Lights was about Midland, Odessa, Permian. I'm from Louisville. We played Permian every year in the playoffs, semifinals. They beat us every time. Yes, I'm still upset. So, because now they got movies and shows made about them, but it is what it is. Football was a way for Austin to take out some of his frustrations, and he'd work in the weight room.
So again, you're admitting that your son, he had these different levels of frustration and he used football as an outlet. He used football as an outlet because, let's be real, his mother was poor, his father was poor. I did some research into you. I found out that you were, I think you may be still a licensed real estate agent in Texas. So yeah, that don't mean that you was making money though, right? So Austin was poor. Carmelo had a lot of money. They was able to drive in $100,000 cars and $500,000 houses. I mean, they was living a legit white man life. And here you are being a white man living like a black man. And I think that's one of the dynamics that y'all don't talk about enough is a lot of white people, because I see it all the time. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Like I told you, I quit working at Amazon. But when I was working there, especially in certain places I was working at, when I would pull up with my truck and they would see a black man was driving the truck that was better than damn near everybody else's on the lot, they always had a problem with that. They always had a problem with that. The white girls looking at me all the time, bro, they always had a problem with that. We got to be careful because success breeds envy. Success breeds jealousy. Success breeds hatred. And remember what I keep telling y'all, positivity creates abundance. People do business with you when you're positive. People want to be a part of whatever you got going on, your community, when you're positive, when you exude positive energy. And that's something that we got to take the time out to do and be intentional about on a daily basis. To Jeff Metcalf, you're not the only one that's lost somebody, right? It wouldn't be okay if Carmelo Anthony parents start saying racist shit. It wouldn't be okay if Trayvon Martin parents start saying that they hate white people. That wouldn't be okay. So if you want this to continue to not be about race, then you can't let it, you can't switch it to something else and make it seem like it's not. And that's the problem I have with this interview, right? Before I go back to the video, I'm gonna hold Sarah Fields accountable right now. You ruined this interview. You had good content. It made Austin Metcalf look innocent. All for you just to let him do all that racist shit. You supposed to cut the mic. You supposed to drop him. Hey, hold on, cuz. We could talk about that offline. Now, people are using this clip. Some people are even miscontextualizing the clip just to make him look racist because he called the boy a watermelon felon, right? Let me show y'all the thumbnail, right? He called him the watermelon felon, right? And I still got my script put up from this right now. It's not just the fact that he called him a watermelon felon, bro. It's actually the fact that it was extremely racist. It has historical context. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that, bro. Because now people look at your son and nobody feel bad for your son at all. Nobody feel like, he's a bad guy. No, nobody cares no more. Nobody cares no more, bro. Let me go get the part that I was actually looking for in my script so I can actually read this part to y'all. Right? Why isn't watermelon just an insult? Now, some of y'all, let me put this over here so I can actually look at y'all while I read this. Now, some of y'all who are watching this, who are not from the United States of America, or who do not genuinely know about the history, might be thinking, okay, this is just a weird insult. Why is it being blown up? Well, because watermelon isn't just a random word. in this country, in the United States of America, it's one of the oldest anti-black stereotypes there is. It goes back to the Jim Crow era, used to paint black people as lazy, simple-minded people, less than humans, 3/5 of human. It's the same type of rhetoric when white people compare black people to gorillas, and they all have records. All of these different lines and propaganda come from racist ideology, right? Superiority ideology. So when Jeff Metcalf reaches for that word and he bolsters the word with felon, he's doing something very unique and very specific. There was a black doctor. Her name is Dr. Stacy Patton, and she broke down this better than I could because she's a doctor. And she said that when Jeff Metcalf fused felon, which is a legal label, with watermelon, which is a racist symbol, he did this so Carmelo could be imagined in white racist people's minds as a criminal and a cartoon character all at the same time. We seen these depictions back in the day, going back to slavery. To them, it's laughable, but to us in our culture, it's dangerous. It make us and our children and our loved ones look less than human. Dr. Stacy Patton also go on to say that Jeff Metcalf, he's going to remove his alibi. He's going to say that I didn't know what I was reaching for when you announced that you're actually being racist. So he's going to make it seem like he's not being racist, but he actually literally said, I'm going to say something racist so I can go viral. So listen, I'm just showing y'all the video. Yo, fair use. Fuck it.
And he'd go do drills by himself and run heels. And he really perfected his craft. He was an unbelievable player. And I know I sound biased on his father, but his numbers don't lie. Go look him up. One game he had 24 tackles. I know. It's unbelievable. He also had interception, fumble recovery. The kid was amazing. And I know there's only a 1% chance of you ever actually making it to the NFL, but deep in my heart, I really thought that kid had a chance. I know for sure many colleges were already interested in him, D1, for the linebackers. And we were already talking about NIL money and how we're going to, make sure you're set for life. I had no idea his life was going to be so short. I'll never understand why. But you're supposed to trust God, and I do. I don't understand his plan, but I have to lean into him for understanding. And to be honest, I will not understand until I sit beside Austin and ask God, why did you have to take him so soon?
Yes, he's definitely throwing shade. He was definitely throwing shade. He was definitely being racist. And this is part of the reason why a lot of people are not being sympathetic to his son's cause now, because the legacy was supposed to be that this wasn't about race. The legacy was supposed to be that this was about a young man that might have taken something too far, but he made it about race in this very interview. And I think that even though I'm always going to root for the young man Carmelo Anthony to be released, until he made these statements, I was sympathetic. I'm not even gonna lie. Until he made these statements, I was completely sympathetic. And now I cannot be. I cannot be. Let's keep going.
Because I can't come up with the answer. No parent should ever have to bury their child. It's not a natural procession. And it's probably the worst pain you'll ever feel. I mean, even if you lost your parent, your spouse, because when I went to my grief group, that's pretty much everyone lost their spouse or something. And I'm the only one who lost a child. And it's very, very different. And I'm not minimizing a loss of other people. I'm saying it's a different type of loss that I pray to God no parent ever has to feel or experience. It will crush you. It will break you. And you will never be the same again.
I think that some people just feel that way about anyone that they lost. With all due respect to you, sir. I know you lost your son. I would never wish that on not even my worst enemy. I wouldn't. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, bro. However, I've known people that broke down after their parents died. Like I said, I lost my father and my brother last year. And it wasn't 1,700 people outside to make me feel better. It wasn't 1,700 people outside. It wasn't 17 people online. 1,700, 1. It was just me, my family, my wife, my kids. That's all I had. You understand me? And going to work every day and grinding and reminding myself, what would my father really want? He would want me to take care of his legacy, which is his fucking children. You understand me? So at the end of the day, bro, people grieve about different stuff. Yes, again, we feel bad about your son, but we can't allow you to spew racist rhetoric because you are grieving. That will not be tolerated.
But I said the same thing to myself when I had cancer. Hey, man. Yeah, I've got, side effects, but I'm still alive. You learn to live what your new normal is. Well, I'm a piece of clay that God is molding into whatever I'm supposed to be molded into because I have no idea. I trust him. I'll follow it. And we'll see where it takes me. But at the end of the day, man, the man upstairs, he already knows where I'm going. I wish he'd give me a little bit more signs sometimes of where I am going because sometimes I feel lost. But that's when I lean into him even more because he will guide my path. Without God, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Without God, I wouldn't have been able to forgive. A lot of people ask me this question. How could you forgive so fast?
You haven't forgiven anybody. Your blatant racism tells us that you haven't forgiven anything at all. On the contrary, if you could, you probably would seek retribution. You probably would seek retribution against this young man. If we being honest. Let's go.
I said, because that's what God has taught me. I lost my son. So did God. So me and him are standing toe to toe. You know how I feel? I know how you feel. It's not a good feeling. But he talked to me. And he knows my faith is strong. And that is the only reason I was able to survive since April 2nd. I'm a vessel. God will work through me. God works in mysterious ways. God puts people in your life for a reason, for a season, for a day, for a month, for a year, maybe forever. Be thankful.
I wouldn't say this situation had anything to do with God.
Appreciate the small things.
Hold on, Mr. Metcalf. I wouldn't say this situation had anything to do with God. I would say this situation has to do with power and racism and how you guys exploit power and exploit racism and bend it to your will to benefit your community. It's just that simple. And of course, yeah, there's a certain amount of white men and white women that don't feel this way. And thank God for them, because if it wasn't for that small group, y'all would be the dominating group, the racist ones. Thank God that we do have individuals that will go out and sign legislation that says, yeah, black people shouldn't be slaves no more. they should be allowed to drink for the same water fountains. Thank God for those individuals. See, I'm not going to sit here and paint all white people with the same brush that I'm going to paint Jeff Metcalf from, because Jeff Metcalf is representing himself. He don't represent all of Texas. He don't represent all of Frisco. He don't represent all of nothing. He represent himself. Let's keep going. And thank you, Houston.
Those are the things that really matter. Doesn't matter how big your house is. Would you rather spend time with your kids? Maybe like take them hunting or fishing? Rather than have them, or would you put them in front of the TV and give them an Xbox and say, here, take care of yourself for the next 3 hours? One of the things about being a dad for me was the biggest blessing in my life. At age 40, I thought God was not going to produce me any children, so I was okay. I had to make peace with that. And then the next thing I know, boom, we're having twins. I'll never forget that day sitting there looking at the sonogram, and the doctor said, oh, there's two. And I went, two what? Is it okay? He's
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, because I know the racist shit gonna start at the 51-minute mark, and we at 33 minutes now. So I'm bracing myself, but up until like then, bro, I feel sorry for you as a father. I know how it feels to hold your son or your daughter when they first born. I know how it feels to watch them grow up, to have life, to gain a personality, to have their first steps, their first words, their first triumphs in life. So I couldn't imagine that being taken away from me. That's why I think you need to just go and actually talk to a pastor, talk to maybe a black pastor, bro, somebody who is non-biased. These people on this YouTube channel, they were using you. They didn't give a fuck about your grief. They don't give a fuck about your son. They were using you. And I've seen this before.
like, no, you're having twins. And I was like, wow, okay. And the world stopped, and then it started spinning, and I'm sitting in the chair, and all I can think of is 2 cars, 2 colleges, 2 everything. And I don't know how I'm supposed to budget for this, because it's not like I can return one. So people ask, how'd you do it? I said, I don't know. They didn't come with instructions. You never know how strong you are until you have to be.
You're right about that. You're right about that. I say it all the time, Mr. Metcalf, if you ever watch this video, the hardest time of my life was when I was a single, when Leia was born in 2020 in October. And up until when I met my wife, those were the hardest years of my life, nigga. Because I was a single parent. Christiana was in and out of our lives. And it's not because she's a bad mom. It's because she was suffering from schizophrenia. And she was unable to do certain things. So it all fell to me. That, even thinking about it now, is heavy. And that was the moment that I started to really sympathize with single mothers, because I understood finally that single mothers were going through the same shit that I was going through. We had the same problems. Can't go to work because the kid need daycare too expensive, diapers too expensive, milk expensive, everything fucking expensive. We had the same exact problems. So on this part, I can feel him on. It's the racist shit. That's when I'm gonna roll my next blunt, because it's gonna get dark.
I would not believe that I am this strong if you're going to tell me that I could survive the death of my son. No. I would say I couldn't. by the grace of God and his help, I'm going to get through it. What I've had to endure since that day has really, really deeply affected the way I feel about society, the moral decay, the subcultures that create environments that are not good for our children, the things we promote, the music we listen to, the games we let them play. Are we really being the best parents we can be? What is it? What is being a parent? What, you're a financial provider? I pay the bills, I give them a roof, I give them food? No, bro. Anybody can do that. Anybody can be a dad. You want to be a father? That's the person who shows up. That's the person who's present. That's the person who participates. You show love. You still show discipline, but you show respect. You teach them humility. You teach them about God. I believe in my heart, everything starts at home with your parents and how you're raised. Those people are responsible for instilling values, morals, direction, guidance to give you a step up. Because I told my boys always, I want you both to be better than I ever was. Because I will tell you this, I am the only man on the planet that hopes you are going to be better than me. Everybody out in this world, it's a rough world. It's tough. It's a rat race. It's a cutthroat. It's try to get ahead, try to stay up with the Joneses. But you got to make sure you stay true to your beliefs. I always told them this also. You are free to make any choice you want in life, but you are not free from the consequences. Unfortunately, this just played out in real life. Because I told them, please don't make a choice that will affect your life forever. It could be a DUI, maybe an unexpected pregnancy, maybe you kill someone. I don't know, but none of them are going to end up in a good position. Impulse control is one of the things that today's youth,
And as y'all can see, this really wasn't an interview.
Has a problem with, because
this wasn't really an interview. They really wasn't asking him questions. They was allowing him to go on a fucking rant, uncontrolled, about the grief of his fucking son. There's no direct questions being asked. Hey, just fucking talk for 3 hours, Mr. fucking Metcalf. The gag order is over. Say whatever the fuck you want. And then you're wondering why this shit spiraled out of control. This man is fucking grieving. He should be talking to a therapist, not a YouTuber, especially somebody who is on Rumble. No, bro. You need to be around people who really love you, my nigga. Not around people who trying to exploit you so that you can get this moment of racism off, and they can clap their hands and say, yeah, fuck those black people. All of them. They all loud and racist. Don't be like them, bro. Because you still got one son left. What would God want you to do with this blessing that he have graced you with? Continue to be racist, or have an opportunity to spread love and forgiveness? You think about that.
The parents do not give them enough instruction, guidance, or whatever reason. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they don't have a father in the house. I don't know. But people said, "Oh, your kids are bullies. You come, you're divorced. It's a split parent home." I got news for you. We live 12 minutes apart. I saw my kids. I hunted with my kids. I fished with my kids. I never once abandoned them. Nothing. We co-parented the whole time. Megan is an excellent mother. She took care of those boys. I showed them the man side of life. She showed them the other side.
No, Megan took care of those boys by herself. I wasn't going to let you get off with that. I never abandoned them. Yes, you did. That's why the day after your son died, and I'm not going to go to that video because I'm sticking to this video only tonight. But I have the clip of your son Hunter Metcalf with his mother, Megan, because she's not a Metcalf. They keep calling her Megan Metcalf. She's not a fucking Metcalf. Nevertheless, the mother Megan she had a whole nother man there in the house laying dick. That's just the facts. You are not a good father. You have the opportunity to be a better one now. Will you seize the moment that God has placed in front of you, or will you continue to spread fucking banditry and racist degeneracy? Your choice.
We worked congruently together. Our boys were very well-rounded, very diversified. We don't see color. We're not racist. We have friends of all diversities, nationality, ethnicities. It doesn't matter. I'm like God. God doesn't see color. Justice doesn't see color. Hate doesn't see color. Love doesn't see color.
Now we again the timestamp for that racist shit start at 51 minutes. We at 38 minutes. So right now you're saying love don't see color, color don't matter, racism don't matter. Then why the fuck did you turn this sentimental great interview into fucking the watermelon felon? How the fuck did we get there?
If you put on those glasses and you see color as an individual, you need to look in the mirror. You need to reevaluate who you are. Do you contribute to society, or are you a detriment? I'm surprised, honestly, by human race and mankind, of the despicable, vile display of the most uncompassionate, unempathetic, uncaring, soulless individuals who choose to monetize the death of a dead child or speak the wrong.
You're literally monetizing the death of your child right now. Hey, Miss Joy. Miss Joy, today we're going over the exclusive interview that you're only going to see here on YouTube because nobody else has the balls to do the reaction to it, because they're believing that they're going to get flagged. Hell, I might get flagged, but I believe all of us who support Carmelo Anthony should have every piece of evidence, information about this case and about the people involved, including Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf. Now, I have his information, Miss Joy. You know how I get down. I can pull up all his information. He's a motherfucking real estate agent down in Texas, but I'm not going to go into everything that I found out about him personally. You know how I get down. Only thing I'm going to ask is y'all support the motherfucking channel. Send me a cash app, Miss Joy. I haven't called no women a B word. I would like $50. Okay? Mwah. Okay? Let me go ahead and play that Sharon Bracey.
For clout. That is the solution to this. The solution, Ed, is for you to send a goddamn 99-cent super sticker. So this way I don't have to go to Brokeback Mountain. That shit crazy. The problem is that we are not supporting great productive entertainment. We only.
He couldn't be more right. Let's finish with Jeff Metcalf. And again, Miss Joy, the new slogan, because we always going to say the black woman is God, but we're trying to practice abundance here. So the only way we get abundance is by practicing positivity. Positivity creates abundance. Say it with me. Positivity creates abundance. Let's go forward.
Derogatory of him or make memes and talk all over the internet about my son while I'm under a gag order and can't respond. It's like being tied to a chair and someone is slapping your face back and forth, and you can do nothing about it but take it. Well, that day is ended. The muzzle's off. And all you people, I'm telling you up front right now, this is a warning. Karma's a bitch. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't have to come after you. It's going to take care of itself. People are going to see you for who you really are now. And if we want to talk individuals, we can, because I couldn't speak about this in court. But I can speak freely now because the gag order is lifted.
Shout out to Miss Joy with her $10 cash app.
Ooh, cash make the coochie go woo woo.
Cash make the coochie go woo woo. Cash make the coochie go woo woo. Okay. So spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Okay. Let's keep going.
Tiffany Billions, Wackadoo, McAdoo, whatever her last name is.
Damn. I thought it started at 50 minutes. I guess it started at 40 minutes. Oh my God, y'all. I am so sorry. I thought that we was gonna get into the racist shit fucking 10 minutes from now. But now, because I got the actual line when he says I can speak freely now because the gag order is lifted, he is about to go the fuck off. All right. So get your wine, get your drink, get your blunt, get whatever you need. Because if you are not ready for a racist rant, this is what I have to serve tonight on a Monday night. A racist, grieving father. Let's go.
Now, because who you really are now. And if we want to talk individuals, we can, because I couldn't speak about this in court. But I can speak freely now because the gag order is lifted. Tiffany Billions, Wackadoo, McAdoo, whatever her last name is. I'm not going to throw insults at you because I'm not going to lower myself to your level.
Yeah. I'm not going to hurl insults at you. I'm not going to lower myself to that level. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. I'm going to press play now.
But you're despicable. Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or GoSend money. You are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child. And I swear to God, CPS to come check on those other 3 that you still have.
Sir, you just said, sir, with all due respect to you, sir. So you just said, and let me turn on my other camera because this is too much. Let me remove this camera. Let me stop this one and turn on my other camera because I cannot. This is too much. This is too much, sir. Okay? Sir, with all due respect, you just said, hold on, let me turn on the AI, sir. Make sure this is moving with me, sir. Sir, you just said that you were not going to have any insults and say any insults at all. But then you turn around and you talk about how CPS needs to come out and check on the children. You hurl insults and call them cowards. I mean, you do understand how hypocrisy works, that you're being completely hypocritical, right? Okay. You, sir, are being hypocritical. You, sir, are the problem. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it, sir. You are the problem. Okay? Let's go.
You never once admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim. The real victim is the one who died, not the one who shoved a knife in his chest. I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what'd you do? You widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted, baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left. When asked, I didn't stab anyone. And then you proceeded to gaslight me with your convicted felon, quote, advocate, minister? Minister of what? Minister irrelevant? Minister of bullshit? How about minister fuck you? Y'all think I'm sane?
Oh, excuse me, sir. How about Minister Fuck You? It's getting real spicy in this bitch. Okay.
And then you proceeded to gaslight me with your convicted felon, quote, advocate, minister? Minister of what? Minister irrelevant? Minister of bullshit? How about minister fuck you? Y'all think I'm saint? I'm no saint. I'm as human as you. I have emotions. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I don't sin, because I don't walk on water and I don't turn into wine. And anybody else can, step up. Don't become kicking rocks in my backyard. Look in your own. The display of adults on the internet. If your children saw how you acted, would you be proud? Or is that what you teach them? Do you teach them that racism is okay? Do you teach them? Do
you teach your sons that racism is not okay? Do you? Is this something that you teach your sons, that racism is not okay, that is not okay to treat black children or black boys or girls any different than you would treat anyone else? Because now you're going to go into this watermelon felon shit, and now the whole fucking country believes you're a racist. But let's go. Fuck it. You got it, bro.
Inbred, do you program your kids to hate, to kill? From day one, I said this was never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both. The race card, black fatigue, it's real. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, sir?
It's never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both. The race card, black fatigue, it's real. I'm sorry. You have embarrassed your own culture and race. Don't get me wrong, we got a lot of people that embarrass the shit out of me too. But you guys, you got a patent on that shit. And the only people that's going to change it are you. Don't blame the white person because we can't change it. But you're going to blame the white person for every fucking thing else. We're the bad ones. We're the one that held you down. Guess what? You can do everything in America that I can do. Tell me one thing you can't do that I can't do. We all have equal rights.
I'm not about to even entertain such bullshit. Okay? I'm not about to even, I'm only stopping it so I can not be flagged by Sarah Fields. I refuse. Okay? I'm just not. I'm not about to be put in a situation like that. Sir, what you just said was the furthest thing from the truth, sir. And you fucking know it. The fact that we have an anti-Asian hate bill, but not an anti-hate black bill speaks volumes, sir. Only Donald Trump, a white man who has 34 felony convictions, can be the president, sir. I don't even have, like I said, I don't even have to even spend another fucking moment saying how that was probably the worst thing you said this whole fucking video. Lord have mercy.
What's it say? All men are created equal.
What?
Can't do. We all have equal rights. What's it say? All men are created equal.
I wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but let's do it nevertheless. Let's do a Gemini test. So Gemini, I was listening to Jeff Metcalf, and he was saying that black people and white people all have the same rights. And he even quoted a very famous quote from one of our most important articles in America. He said that all men are created equal. But can you tell him the hypocrisy in that statement? Because black people, at the time that all men were created equal was written, black people were called 3/5 a human. Black people were not given the same rights. You know what I'm talking about. Can you break that down for Jeff Metcalf, please?
The phrase, all men are created equal, written by Thomas Jefferson in the 1776 Declaration of Independence, stands as one of the most glaring contradictions in American history, given the reality of systemic chattel slavery at the time. Here is the breakdown of that hypocrisy. The 3/5 compromise, while the Declaration proclaimed equality, the later 1787 U.S. Constitution explicitly codified inequality. Article 1, Section 2 established that enslaved black people would be counted as only 3/5 of a person for congressional representation and taxation. Enslavement of the author, Thomas Jefferson owned over 600 enslaved black people throughout his lifetime, directly benefiting from the very system that denied them humanity and the unalienable rights he wrote about. Legal exclusion. At the nation's founding, black people were legally treated as property, denied citizenship, forbidden from voting, and subjected to forced labor and violence. The Supreme Court later solidified this in the 1857 Dred Scott decision, ruling that black people had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. While the quote is often used to celebrate American ideals, it originally excluded black Americans entirely from its promises.
I want to take a picture of this, actually. I want to do a video about that, the 1857 Dred Scott decision. Because it's clear that people don't know their history. They act like they don't understand and know that black people were kept out of these different opportunities and just opportunities to be looked at as a human. Let's keep going with the racist shit.
The First Amendment protects free speech. I'm for it. Free speech doesn't guarantee you safety. Perfect example, Charlie Kirk, a man who I admired, looked up to. You know why? Because he could fight with words and logic. He didn't need fists, guns, or knives. No. He sat down and talked with you. How do you solve any situation when there's a problem? Communication. Charlie was an expert. That's one person I admit I would not want to debate. He was a walking chat GPT. But he held strong on his faith. He never wavered. His convictions were solid. He was a good man.
Charlie Kirk was a good man. I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know. Charlie Kirk was a good man. Charlie Kirk was a good man. He was a good man. I wouldn't want to debate Charlie Kirk because he was a walking encyclopedia. He was a good man. He didn't use knives. He didn't use violence. Charlie Kirk, he used the mind. Okay. Tell me you're a racist without telling me you're a racist.
Taken too soon also. Some people called him racist.
Are you going to not talk about how he was taken away by a white boy? Okay.
Some people call me racist. Does it make me racist? No. My grandfather once told me, what other people think of you, son, is none of your business. I didn't quite understand it then, but I understand it now. The only person that judges me is God. And God sees all.
Continue.
We're good? Where we leave off? Okay. So, back to the parenting situation. When I was a kid, my generation was the best generation to ever grow up. We were the last generation that didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. And we didn't have internet. We actually had to talk to people, conversate. We actually wanted to go outside, not stay inside and play games. Our internet, that was this thing called...
My electricity bill dropped from $150 to $52
Damn.
doing this one thing. When I spent $49 on an energy...
a Britica encyclopedia set that you did your homework out of, or you could go down to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System to look up a book. None of you kids know that. You kids can't even read cursive nowadays, so they don't teach it. They took God out of school. Look what happened. Do you think it's a coincidence that society started to decay even faster when we start removing things that are actually good foundations?
Yeah. I think that at the end of the day, white society started to break down, not society itself, white society. The way that y'all pictured it, it started to break down because, yeah, nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants to live in a patriarchal system where white men make all the rules and get to tell everybody what to do.
God, family, friends, job. That's my pecking order. May not be for everybody, but it's mine, and I own it. Now, some people will ask you, do you know Jeff Metcalf? Yeah. What do you think about him? He's an asshole. Or he's the greatest guy, he'll give you the shirt off his back. So they both can be right. Because I give what you get. Or what you give, or to me, I'll give you back. So am I racist? Yeah, I'm racist against assholes. I don't like them. I could care less about the color of your skin. We all bleed the same color. The mental capacity of others sometimes astonishes me. Someone at a certain age, let's just say 40, 50, I would assume, and this is my fault, they're making assumptions, that you would have common sense, that you'd be intelligent. You could make a difference between right and wrong. Nah, ain't got nothing to do with age, ain't got nothing to do with color. It's up to you, who you want to be. You chart your course. Guess what? It's not going to go the way you think. Promise. If there's a person who exists on this entire planet who's never had a problem, one, in their life, please step up. I want to meet you because I want to know how you did that. It's not possible. Life is not easy. God doesn't say that. God says there's going to be trials and tribulations. God says there's going to be people out there who will deceive you. People out there, I mean, if we want to go back Old Testament, eye for an eye, Sodom and Gomorrah, turn to stone, man lays with a man, you die. I mean, this is all your personal choices. It's none of my business. I stay in my lane. Just don't come in my lane with your bullshit. I respect everyone until they disrespect me.
Is that right?
I've been disrespected by so many people, so many times, while I've had to sit here and take it. I'm going to tell you right now, Charleston White, you think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a pussy and a coward, and you raised one.
Damn.
Kayla, you drunk bitch. What'd you do to that boy to make him stab somebody? My God, what kind of mother are you? Hey, Kevin Hayes, you fucking liar. Day after it happened, how many lies did you sit and type up on your keyboard, you big keyboard warrior? You a big tough man. You still live in Baton Rouge? Remember you said you'd come to Frisco, Brody? You're supposed to find me. I told you we could sit down and talk. That's all you do. Talk, Mr. Squeaky Clean. You're the only one in your family without a damn record. I guess that's something to brag about in your culture. You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make one up. Y'all can make let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral.
What?
I got a new name.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Let me make one up. Y'all can make let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral.
Please. One more time.
Let me make one up. Y'all can make let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you?
Oh.
I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night.
What?
Boy, y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's what we're trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did. I forgave him so I don't carry the hate and the anger. So I don't get ate up like cancer and kills you from the inside. It's like me drinking poison and hoping it kills you. It doesn't work that way. You've got to let that stuff go or it will kill you. It will eat you up inside. So when people ask me, how can you forgive him? If I didn't, I would have wound up killing him and going to prison myself. That's how stupid people, when you get irrational, because you can't make a good decision.
You basically just issued a threat. You wasn't gonna kill no fucking body. You wasn't gonna do nothing except what you've been doing, sitting in your fucking house, mourning, being upset, drinking. That's all you gonna do.
If you're emotional, emotion and intellect do not mix. If you're emotional, you can't come up with a logical solution. It doesn't work. You have to be level-headed. You have to be clear of mind. When you become emotional and you make decisions, things can go very wrong. And you better hope there's a way out for you. Because some situations, as we all know, they don't turn out well if you make the wrong choice. Or you could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, in front of the wrong person. And I'm not just talking about Austin. Just go look, just visit Chicago for a weekend. How many shootings do they have? And they have gun laws. Woohoo! How's that working out for you guys? If you told me after 9/11 that New York would have a Muslim mayor in a sanctuary city, I would tell you you're crazy, because we were all gung-ho, USA, all the way, patriotic, love my country. And now look where we're at. How do we get there? Who's responsible for our youth? Who? They're the leaders of tomorrow. What are you doing to prepare them?
Hold on. I'm not gonna let you just hold the fuck on.
Minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Are you really sitting up here criticizing Mayor Mondani, who is beloved in New York City, who has helped New Yorkers cultivate a new environment, a new hope, where they feel like they may finally have somebody who actually give a fuck about them? And your only grievance with Mayor Mondani is that he's a Muslim?
If you're emotional, you can't come up with a logical solution. It doesn't work. You have to be level-headed. You have to be clear of mind. When you become emotional and you make decisions, things can go very wrong. And you better hope there's a way out for you. Because some situations, as we all know, they don't turn out well if you make the wrong choice. Or you could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, in front of the wrong person. And I'm not just talking about Austin. Just go look, just visit Chicago for a weekend. How many shootings do they have? And they have gun laws. Woohoo! How's that working?
Of course, he mentioned Chicago, trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, look at all the black people that's killing each other in Chicago. Bro, you know how many white people are doing crimes in Illinois every single day? You think that Illinois prison or any prison is just filled with black people? We got to stop, bro. White on white crime is just as prevalent as black on black crime. You're just showing us how racist you are. That's all you're doing, bro.
Working out for you guys. If you told me after 9/11 that New York would have a Muslim mayor in a sanctuary city, I would tell you you're crazy, because we were all gung-ho, USA, all the way, patriotic, love.
Gun-ho, all the way, patriotic. That's not, New York has never been that, sir. New York has always been the home of the immigrants. What are you talking about? And Mondani didn't get elected after 9/11. He got elected like a year ago, bro. 9/11 was 20 fucking years ago. What are you talking about? So now, because of 9/11, we shouldn't elect any Muslim at all to any elected seats? Let me guess. Only white people get to do terroristic shit and still get into office and still control seats. That's what you wanted, right? Only white men get that power of enslaving people, but still control the world economy and still control what governs people, what laws governs people, what system governs people. And now a Muslim man who may not say, you know what, we're not going to just be locking up Muslims just for no reason, like y'all did before, because y'all had somebody in office who didn't care about my people. But now we have somebody in office who care about all people, and I'm fucking with it. Let's go.
My country, and now look where we're at. How do we get there?
Now listen, guys. I said I was gonna cover the whole video, but I lied. I'm gonna just change the video to part 1 because I'm about to actually watch Raising Canaan. I can't just sit around and talk about this racist shit all day. It just blew my whole high, bro. I will leave this timestamp at 54 minutes where I'm at. I'll come back maybe tomorrow night and give you guys a part 2, but it's about to be midnight. I would like to get some rest, prepare for my morning, and continue just to work, man. With that being said, I'm out of here, Simp Nation. I appreciate y'all. We are out of here.